So there's a businesswoman out there who said that she's a max 3-hour mom on the weekend. Now, there's obviously more context to that, but like the principle behind it, I could agree with. I feel like it makes sense. The principle.
I'm sensing a but.
But when I read it, actually, I'm not going to say what I said when I read it. But honestly, like, ma'am, you have an entire army helping you raise these kids. So like, let's be real. Like, what's actually happening here, and how is it that you can be a 3-hour mom?
Money, money, and money.
Sounds about right.
Let's get into it.
Yo parents, professors. Yo parents, professors.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Parents and Professors podcast with your favorite triple C's. I am Dr. Michael Stephen Williams.
And I'm Dr. Marjorie Dr. Williams. And we are kicking off a series on parenting and perception and privilege. Oh, I love alliteration.
Yeah, hear the P's on the Parents and Professors podcast.
But we wanted to start with privilege because I think that how you get to parent depends so much on what you have and what you have access to. And, you know, we opened with talking about money. And that is a part of, I think, the conversation, but not all of it. And it's such an interesting dynamic to watch people talk about parenting. And I think in particular, motherhood and parenting socially.
Not fatherhood too?
Parenting, yes. And fatherhood is a part of that equation. But there is a very interesting and targeted approach when it comes to motherhood. In fact, there was a whole, what do you call it? Turning Point USA, that little club that they've got. Mm-hmm. There was a whole conference just for women. And one of the main messages was, get pregnant. Even if you can't afford it, be a mom. That's it. So that's the moral of the story.
We'll get into the 3-hour mom conversation, what's missing from it. We'll obviously talk a little bit about Turning Point USA.
I didn't mean to go there.
And I think it's a labor conversation at its root. So we'll unpack some of that. As always, before we dive in, this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed are our own. Our discussion is based on personal experiences, publicly available information, and general knowledge. And we make every effort to be accurate, but we encourage you to verify the facts yourself. We are not your mom. We're not your attorney. Nothing we're saying is legal advice. We're not your therapist. Even though hopefully listening to us does make you feel a little bit better.
It's like therapy.
But please consult qualified professionals if you need anything according to your situation. But otherwise, we're excited to start the conversation.
All right, let's get into it. So I came across this story. I saw it in Ebony about a entrepreneur. Her name is Emma Grede. And
I see it on paper makes you want to say Gerd.
It's like
or Grede. See, it's also because she has an accent.
And so now I'm like, I don't even know what vowels are doing. So Emma Grede, so she's a British entrepreneur, co-founder and CEO of Good American, and a founding partner of Skims, and so I'm going to name this now. I realized when I saw and heard that, immediate bias. So I recognize that I'm coming to this with something.
Well, you're hating on what, Kim K? Or no? I'm asking.
I'm not hating. I simply.
So say Megan Thee Stallion was the owner of Skims.
Oh, and great! I'm buying all of it. So in every color, every season drop.
So if you saw Emma Grede and she was working with Megan Thee Stallion,
oh, we good. We good money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Biases.
I recognize my bias. There are reasons for my bias. Because a Meg could never be a Kim K. Her name is Amber Rose, and she don't get invited to nothing.
Oh.
So, like, anyway, that's not the purpose of this conversation. Just wanted to name my bias. So she does a Wall Street Journal profile promoting her book, Start With Yourself, A New Vision for Work and Life. And in it, she calls herself a max 3-hour mom on weekends. And she has, she's doing the circuit. So she's on Breakfast Club and Today Show and has doubled and tripled down like, hell yeah, I'm a 3-hour mom. I spend 3 hours with my kids and then the rest is for me.
Is that, wait. What's the time span? Is that a day? Is that a week?
No, week on a like a Saturday. Her kids get her 4 children, 4 of them, 3 hours. Wait, let me finish. So her framing, and again, I can get behind the principle of what she was sharing. So she describes herself as
She is partnered, yes?
of course.
Okay.
Come on now.
Well,
But yes, so hold that thought.
okay.
Save it. Put it in your pocket because I want to come back to it. So she describes herself as a high-impact core memory parent. Big moments like trips. And says she opts out of things she calls over-parenting. So, right, that's sort of the first level of it. Now, she has publicly acknowledged her family team. Her family is a team. She has nannies and cleaners and a chef and a chief of staff. That makes her schedule possible. So there was a lot of conversation around, her making the statement. And I think particularly within Black women's spaces, there were a lot of conversations about what she shared. Some of it was, girl, that's all well and good, but you like rich and you married to a rich man and you have rich people resources to do rich people shit, like opt out of parenting.
Would you use rich people resources to opt out of parenting?
Would I?
So wait, I don't understand the point of disagreement.
This is hate.
I feel like,
That's
I
all.
was like, okay,
It's
is this
hate.
episode over?
No,
Can we just get to the root of it?
You know what? I don't know if I've shared this. So a moment of, honesty and vulnerability. Thank you, Michael. I'm the broke sibling.
We ain't got it.
I am, and it's in many, both, I think, sort of traditional visual stereotypical ways. Like I'm the single mom. My two brothers are partnered. My first brother is a partner at a law firm.
Big
Got
law.
a promotion. Big law. Big law firm. Big name law firm.
Yeah, big law.
So he has
Means.
he's a man of means. My sister-in-law gets to stay at home and they have 3 children and she has help. So there is a nanny and a cleaner. For a while they had a chef, a cook coming in to make meals during the week. Her mom is retired, so she comes by to help out. So she has help. Like, and I am, first of all, those kids are not easy. Like, they're high energy children. So like, that is great. My youngest brother is what do I call him?
Pharmacist?
A corporate pharmacist?
I mean,
But they're like management businessy now.
I mean, he has a different, But his
Anyway.
terminal degree is a PharmD.
Yes. So he and my other sister-in-law both work for another big name company and do like management-y things. They have a nanny and are living their best lives. So like I see what it looks like when you have help. You can go to the gym and the nanny's going to be there. You can not have to worry about what your kid is doing or what enrichment are they getting. Or, hey, I have this meeting, but I also want to do this thing. And like now I got to juggle and balance. I got to cut out of work to go do pickup. Like they don't.
Do you think it would have been that way if you were not the firstborn? Because we're both the firstborn in our family and we're both the first people to have kids. Mm-hmm. And so like the age gap between our kids and their kids is
That's
significant.
true. It is significant.
Yeah, and so like that extra 10 years is like plenty of time for you to establish a career.
Yeah,
for you to,
and they were also older when they started having their kids.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, yes, there are lots of things that are different in our setups. But I think that, I think it is great that, especially Ashley, because 3 kids is a lot of kids. And them kids is on it. Like when they wake up, it's go time. So it's great to have help. It is important to have help. I wish more people had help. I wish more women and moms had help so that they could, take time for themselves so that we can take breaks.
If your mom or my mom are listening to this episode, they're just going to say move home or move closer to home. I just want you to know that. So like some of those mechanisms are called family.
Yes.
Especially retired family.
But everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also a choice. So big picture, I'm not complaining. And my kids are like being grown out and we went through what we went through and we're here on the other side of it. But her message about, over parenting or like opting out is so grounded in privilege. I think it is very much about the fact that you do have means, right? Like you can afford to have somebody help you do these things. And this idea of, well, women should just, right? Like,
I love anything that starts like that because I know it's just going to fire you up. So a little inside the actor studio, it's very hard for Dr. Dorme Williams to resist potting in advance of potting. Like just fired up, angry take, how dare they, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, we're about to hit record. Just save it for the podcast, my nigga. Gonna be okay.
I have lots of big feelings about this. And it's interesting because, so when I first heard the story, before I saw her, I was like, this is just Lean In 2.0. Like, it's a copy paste of Lean In. But
It's
another
Lean In.
author who also says wild things and does wild things.
I mean, if you give Lean In a British accent and a little bit darker skin hue, then that's what it sounds
It
like.
feels similar. Now,
Yeah.
I have not read her book, so I'm going to go do that. We'll maybe come back to it on a later episode.
Yeah. There might be a blueprint for the life you denying yourself in there, you know?
Maybe there
you
is.
never know.
I'm open to learning.
Yeah, Emma Grede might be like, listen,
Girlfriend.
I was you.
Right? And so I do not want to make this about her like accomplishments or her as an entrepreneur or business person. Not at all.
Because she's clearly getting to it.
Right?
Yeah.
She's on the Today Show and I'm not. So, but I do sometimes feel frustrated with the way that parenting is portrayed. And then you add parenting through a gendered lens. So we were talking about, right? Not father. Is that what you were saying earlier? What about fatherhood?
Yeah, what about fatherhood? But also, it was just Father's Day. We haven't even acknowledged that. We're just skipping right over into...
I did a shout out to dads. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got
that
posted.
never... Exactly.
I don't know if I got
Yeah,
posted.
it seems like that.
Shout out to all the dads out there.
Suspiciously, it never gets posted. You know, there's no shout outs to me being a great
I'm
dad.
going to post my
I have to go
dad
and like
shout-out.
I would turn the camera. So I got a very nice card from Marjorie. You know, there's times where she very seldom publicly acknowledges that I'm the father of her children, other than through this
I
podcast.
don't even acknowledge I have children. There's nothing on my social media.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of this is just a revelatory part about how you would prefer to be. You're like, what? The fruit of my loins? Spend time with them? Why would I do that if I'm rich?
Well, I do. So I like what you said about core moments, right? High impact core memories, right? The things that are important.
Yeah, but I think that
And we do that.
We do, but I think that I disagree with that perspective because the things that people really remember are not the big things. It's the everyday small things. Like the idea of like, oh, this person used to pick me up and we giggle and we run around or we go get ice cream in this place, or like the things that your kids tell you about. Like I actually do have the immediate perspective of Father's Day having just passed and having my children be at different ages to kind of show their appreciation for me. And my eldest daughter put together this like really beautiful notebook.
Really cool.
And just had pictures of memories of us together and like things that we've done. And like
she painted the cover. Did you know that?
I saw it.
She hand painted.
I have it on the shelf. But I was choked up and I was really appreciative. But I realized that none of that is big things. It's all little everyday, like
the pictures of that she put in
like
it.
the pictures and the words that went with it. It's like, I love spending time with you. I love that like you come to my games and you give me real feedback. I love that, you know, we can go on daddy-daughter dates and get ramen and chicken together from time to time. Like I just really appreciate having you in my life. And it's this combination of all these like small things that make our relationship great. And I mean, one, it's always nice to get that reminder as a parent, period, but especially as a father, because I feel like even in a conversation like this, the fatherhood piece is absent. Like, let somebody say, I'm a 3-hour dad. They will be burnt in effigy.
Would they
and
though?
it's also it's one.
I think it would not be unexpected.
One, it's the expectation in like this masculinist society that like still there's like a misinjury connected to these ideas, because I don't know any father of my generation, especially a black father, who would ever say anything like that out of their mouth.
Well, true.
Like,
and
the
black
presence-
fathers are the most involved of any racial ethnic
the
group.
idea of being present, the idea of being around, and the idea of like shielding your kids from the presence of other people you don't mess with. Like there's a whole lot of that. And so beyond the stereotypical, right? Like everybody wants to say, even though the statistics bear it out differently, everybody wants to say black fathers are not involved. Like that's one of the stereotypes
untrue.
that you
It's a
have
myth.
to overcome, right?
It's been debunked. It is factually incorrect.
Yeah, but even with that, I'll take it from kind of the facts to individual case. If I was rich, I would spend way more time with my kids. I would much rather be like, I'm thinking of last night is a good example. We have company over, but I have deadlines. And I have one eye on the kids running around, another eye on a spreadsheet, another eye on a document that I'm trying to put together, because I have to travel this weekend. And I know that if I don't get a jump on it, it's just not going to get done. And I can't let down the people that I'm collaborating with. I would much rather be sitting around with my friends, drinking and like playing with my kids.
Well, yes. Like I think everybody wants more free time.
But that's how I would use my free time. Like my money, like if I could buy myself out of having to do the work that I need, like, like I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would love, and this is the problem because I've tried, I mean, this is like a little professor side road, but I'd be interested in your thoughts. I've tried to treat my job like an 8-hour a day job. I fail every time.
It's really hard.
Every time that I only put in what you would put in an 8-hour day, I feel myself falling further and further behind. And I hate being put in a position where I feel like I have to choose between like spending quality, attentive time with my children versus doing more work. Because I know that if I get shot or if I fall off a cliff or if I get hit by something or if this thunderstorm catches me, that Mizzou's gonna be like, damn.
Oh, I'm like, where's this going?
Yeah, like, well, and whoever's employment situation, they're gonna be like, oh, maybe we replace you, maybe we don't. Maybe we distribute your responsibilities to 3 or 4 other people.
Yes, but you need that employment to pay for this house that these kids live in.
Yeah. And so I'm with the fiscal kind of trade-off, right? Of course, anybody in their right mind that isn't doing for a living exactly what they wish to be doing would rather not have to work. Like if a check would show up in an amount that I appreciated in my mailbox or in my account every month without me having to do all the things that I do,
Yes.
I would gladly take that. But the reallocation of my time and resources wouldn't be to other things. It would be a good portion of it would be to the kids.
So I have 2 thoughts. One, to the fatherhood piece. I think that we are still socially in a world where, there's research to support this. Even though there are an increasing number of men who are, especially Black men, who are highly involved parents, we're also still fighting against this idea of manhood and masculinity that doesn't fully include parenting. So I can't remember his name, playing in the World Cup, and his wife went into labor, and he was like, I'm going to go be with my wife.
Oh,
and
Jeremy
they were like,
Jeremy Doku.
labor is disgusting. What is he possibly thinking? And they were like, to be there for the birth of his first child with his wife? Why would that even? But it was. Like, people were legitimately like, WTF is he doing?
That player's name is Jeremy Doku.
Thank you.
He is also a Manchester City player.
Oh, I
represent.
No, I don't.
And there have been players that have vocally come to his defense because it's just a ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
people felt comfortable.
But you also
making
have to
that
realize
point.
like they felt comfortable because he's a Black man.
I mean, there's also that.
He's a Black Belgian man, and the same comment would not be made about any white soccer star that made the decision to go do that.
You think so?
It's a complete double standard, absolutely. And some of the double standards that they have in the British context, because I follow soccer closely, it's as ridiculous, if not more ridiculous, than things we deal with here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like the framing, the automatic deficit perspective, the whatever is the worst cultural reading of the same exact behavior done by white man, Black man, it's all the same stuff.
I think I felt some of that with what was happening with Emma as well. Like there's so many assumptions, I think, about the way people approach parenthood or the choices that you can or cannot make as a parent. And so like, even though like, you know, I'm a 3-hour max mom, so I can make time for myself. I was like,
jealousy.
I was
That
like,
ain't nothing but jealousy.
that sounds nice. Also sounds like you don't have to be at a soccer tournament for like 9 hours on a Saturday, Emma. Thank you.
We applaud you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you, Emma. I want you to know that you've reached the status that many of us aspire to. And by many of us, I mean Dr. Dorme Williams.
It's just, well, now like,
I would love to. You're
Almost
like,
on the
I'd
other
love to
side.
skip that soccer tournament. Yeah. And so for me, it's the opposite. And like, I don't see it as an indictment. I think that part of the value is in partnering with people who have a little bit different perspective from you. And so like, I know that part of the reason that our partnership works is that like, there are things where we're completely aligned, but there's also things where we're like clearly yin and yang. And so for you, you're like, oh, I got a trek to the soccer game. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I could get there earlier. I wish I had enough free time to be the coach. Like, I do. I wish I had enough free time to be the coach. And I feel like it's irresponsible of me to try to take that on when I don't have a settled work life. And there are things that are eating at my time that I don't have control of. And that lack of control was really shown to me when my sister passed away. But like, I can't take on anything else, but I would love to. I would love to be in the gym with my son 5 days a week. I would love to be on the pitch kicking the soccer ball around with both of my daughters. I would love to be more involved in the extracurriculars because we've seen in like some of our own recent like collective effort is that it's just easier to get them to do what you want them to do when you do it with them.
I mean, yes, there's that. And I think it's such an interesting thought of like, you know, I only focus on the big things or like over parenting. And I'm like, first of all, I think that term is problematic because I think people just parent. And we parent in different ways.
But there is such thing as overparenting. And like you're compelled to overparent by the way that schools and technology are set up right now.
Like
So you're getting the bing, like I don't want to see that.
She probably has like tutors and like homeschool, right? Like, so again, you can afford to be like,
somebody else is managing her class dojo.
Her chief of staff.
Yeah,
oh my God,
like,
I'm so upset. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like somebody else is getting the notifications when practice changes location. Like, it's not like, oh, quick, I got to get on the telephone and pass this to the co-parent and the wife.
Or like,
right? Like,
oh, I have a meeting and then something happens in the middle of the school day that requires urgent attention and you're the only person who can do something about it. I don't have a driver to go send and pick the kids up to go do whatever.
Aspirational. So we are going to develop a cash app for the show. It's called the Marjorie Freedom Fund. We're going to get it cracking. So that you never have to lift a parenting finger again. Because obviously poverty is not the way.
Listen, I feel like the lesson in America is don't be poor. But seriously, I do feel like
that really is the lesson.
It really is. Like, don't be poor. I think there's so much it's all connected, right? I don't think you can fully separate parenting and privilege, and particularly socioeconomic privilege. And I'm reminded of the book Unequal Childhoods by Annette Leroux, which I read
somehow I knew
1,000 years ago.
This is a social work grad school book.
Yeah, but
I remember it because I brodied that because I needed it for another class.
Did you really?
In education. Yeah.
But it's still so relevant.
Like a sociology of ed book.
Right. Essentially there's she looks at forms of parenting amongst two different sort of neighborhoods, right? Like a working class blue collar neighborhood and a more developed upper class neighborhood. And she talks about the ways that parents navigate the decisions around how they parent their kids. And sort of the working class kids are much more like, oh God, there's a term. I'm going to look it up. We will put it in the show notes. I'm going to say like free range parent, like, so they...
Free range parenting.
It's less structured time and they have more independent play and they're not being driven around for play dates and they have lots more time by themselves because their parents are working, engaged in other things. Like they're just not doing those same things. Versus sort of children in this more affluent area where there's the soccer class or soccer, training, and there's, after school programs and there's theater and there's travel and there are all of these things, but their lives are very, very structured. I feel like when I read the book, I was like, oh, somewhere in between seems like the best fit. But there is privilege associated with being able to, show up at soccer games or soccer tournaments, or, hey, I'm a parent that doesn't work on the weekends, so that's not an issue for me. But there's some parents who do.
Yeah.
Right? And so like there's so much, it's money. I feel like we keep coming back to soccer. Soccer is expensive.
All youth sports are expensive in the United States. That's why we're not great. We don't have academies and
right. We're not like whoever the best is should just play.
We see talent and we're going to invest in that talent so that we can dominate on a global stage.
Capitalism.
We're in a World Cup summer. You get to see what's up.
Capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
Right? We're not about talent. We're about can we make money? And then like if talent happens to sneak in through the back door, cool. But it's all connected, right? And so I'm reminded of the conversation we had. This was a couple of pod episodes back, but there was the mom who had posted on Instagram about birthday parties. And she was like, can we just make it where we're not inviting the whole class of 30 and like throwing mini weddings when the 4-year-old turns 5? Like, can we just not? And was attacked for it.
Yeah.
Like they came for her in her comments.
Well, I think that one is difficult for me. So, but before we move on, I just wanted to kind of ask you a question because that's a whole another path of conversation for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm connecting different dots than the first time that we had that conversation. Mm-hmm. Is there anything valuable? Strip away the extremely high socioeconomic status and entire staff of help. Mm-hmm. Is there anything valuable about Emma Grede's takeaway about the importance of making time for yourself?
Absolutely. You need it. And in fact, I think it's one of the perks of being a part-time single mom. Because when the children leave my house, there are no more kids in my house. And then I get to breathe. In fact, what was it? Oh, even Sunday, because I was like still, cooking for Father's Day or whatever. And I was like, well, let me get the kids over here. So, kids, Father's Day.
Oh, thank you for the gift too. Guyo, tap your local Haitian. You know what I mean? If you don't know what's up. I was like, oh, this is a unique and fire gift. You don't be cooking.
I got you. But I dropped them off, and we had a great weekend, right? So Friday was the World Cup, and we watched Haiti play, and then we started watching Wonder Man on Disney Plus, Hot Fire. So we started watching Wonder Man because it's like IET, right? And so we're having this opportunity, which she might say like, oh, it's a little moment, right? It's not a trip, it's not anything. It's just us in the living room watching soccer. And Makari laughing at me because I'm like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, but like,
explain this thing to me.
yeah, but those are like the real core moments, right?
Right.
Like where it's like, oh, I'm a soccer player and I've been one my entire life, but my mom doesn't understand offsides. Like,
no, because they have really cool the little visual.
now they have the
thing. I'm like, oh, he was offsides. Like, Also, Brazil, floptastic. Like, I have never. We're like 2 minutes into the game, and it was like, So there was that.
Welcome to the broad world of competitive soccer.
Right. So we kicked it on Friday, and then Saturday we got up, did chores, we went to the library, they did some work, I did some work, and then we went for a 3.5 mile walk on the trail. And then we went to lunch, and then I went to bed. I was exhausted. But by Sunday, and it was actually a great weekend with the kids. But by Sunday after church, and I dropped them off, and I came back to the house, and I was like, okay, like I have a minute to breathe. I can like reset. Like it just gave me time to collect myself.
Do you feel like you're on around the kids?
Yes. Is it on? It requires energy.
Maybe that's a part of the difference. I don't like now.
I think because
I'm
you're also more extroverted than I am. Like it's still like I love my kids.
Yeah, I'm thinking
it's
of
work.
it as
like parenting is work.
I want to piece together what's going on because I know that we share very different views. We have aligned values, but different manifestations of those values. And I think listening to you, it makes me think like, oh, like maybe it's because you're on. Like you feel like you have to be on when the kids are around. Like there needs to be a schedule. You need to have things that you're explicitly doing. You need to kind of operate in a way that I don't feel like I need to operate. Like,
I mean, otherwise they're just going to be like slugs and just in their rooms. And sometimes that's cool, but like.
Well, I don't feel like my desire for them not to be slugs manifests itself as a feeling of being on. Like I feel like I can, from my bath towel after getting out of the shower, be like, yo, did you do your chores yet? Right? Like I still have to manage. You still have to kind of push them to achieve the things that are important to you and to show up in your house in the ways that you expect them to show up.
Yes.
But that doesn't feel like work to me. Like that just feels like a...
There's also, and I think this is the difference too, I'm an army of one when I'm at home. It's just me and them. Like there is no, hey, could you just, or, oh, I need a second. Could you get the kids to, like, it's just me and them. Yeah. So there's also no...
I mean, I remember those days, but that's also part of the reason I was quickly remarried. Because parenting is not meant to be done by yourself. Yeah.
I tried and work out, so here we are.
I am a full believer. I love you, baby. I mean, I even think about that. So when I listened to you, I reflected a little bit on what you said on the last pod about kind of what that space can lead to, though, right? So yeah, it can be nice to have an opportunity to have your house to yourself, but there's also ways that it can be lonely. And I don't know if it's just a privilege thing or if it's something that I just haven't really had the chance to experience. Because even when we were co-parenting and I wasn't partnered, having an empty house is awesome. Like,
right? It was a different.
Yeah, like I don't know that I gave myself a whole lot of time to really get into a space where I felt like, oh.
But like how? No, I feel like this is a different episode.
Yeah, maybe that's.
We're gonna come back to
box it up and
we're gonna come back to it
somewhere.
We'll come back to it. But I do think that even with being with the kids for the weekend, right? Like the core memories part. I think that's important. I think her saying, yes, parents need to make time for themselves, moms in particular, women in particular, need to make time for themselves. And I think it is particularly relevant because empirically women do more work.
Yeah.
Women do more of the housework. In some studies, it's like 2 times as much housework as their male partners.
It's so funny because I don't even, and this is not me doing a male defense. Like I know that I'm a very involved and like helpful partner. I do my fair share and some, but I've always been amazed and I didn't really have the language for it until like grad school. I was like, oh, this is what socialization processes are. Because women are socialized to do the housework since infant. Like, here's the toys. Yeah. Like, this is how you play with it.
Yeah, here's a kitchen.
Yeah, here's a kitchen. Here's a
vacuum.
Broom. Here's a sponge. Yeah. Like, here's and so I'm thinking about it because with my youngest daughter, I'm like, okay, I'm cleaning up your toys that are on the floor. But there's like stethoscopes and doctor's jacket and like even the things that you're being socialized to, the things that you put in their space are important.
Is that
from
what
a
we
really
did
young
wrong?
age.
They didn't have enough house kitchen toys or cleaning toys.
I mean, but maybe we did that right. Like,
I think we did it wrong.
yeah, like
I'm still giving tutorials on how to wash a pot and pan.
yeah, I was like, I feel like there's a general. I'm usually relatively disdainful of the way that most people do chores. I realize,
Very lackadaisical.
but it's also because I was raised by a military mom, and
Right.
yeah, I'm like, yo, do you know what elbow grease is, my nigga?
just,
Like, you have to put some of it in there. That glass is not clean.
I can see the dirt.
Yeah, like if I hold this up to the light and it looks speckled like a starry night.
Ew.
How do you not see this, bro?
Yo, son.
Yeah, like what is?
This is how they lost dishwasher privileges for a week because I was like, nah, we're gonna course correct.
You got to go back to basics. Sometimes you got to go to
It's just-
fundamentals.
I learned by doing.
This is called Dawn. This is called a scrubber sponge.
Like they would.
You only need a little squeeze.
It's just soap on a sponge, and then you scrub the thing, and then you look at it with your eyeballs and your hand to feel is there any crusty,
When you
whatever.
see no dirt and no film, then you
Then
can
you
put it on the
rinse.
drying rack.
And then you put it away. I have watched them scrub, wipe it through the water, and put it in the rack. I was like, what just happened? What?
That
Who
is-
taught you to do that?
That is so deeply
So yes, doing more housework,
unsafe and unsanitary.
doing more housework.
Oh,
And although this was interesting, so I was looking up, research before the show. There's a larger gap in housework. There's also a gap in family care is what they're calling it, right? So caretaking, like who's doing the
yeah.
majority share of caretaking. And while it has decreased, so that gap has decreased over time, both in housework and caretaking, it's still like 2, 3, sometimes like 6 times more for women.
See, I think that there's parts of that are socially unfair, but there are also parts of that are controlled by women being worried about what other women think of them. And that even if you have great partnering and deals, that you're not going to be able to avoid them going this extra mile. So like, I would never see you clean our house with more fervor than when you know your mom is coming over.
I mean,
Or, and I see a version of this with my wife now, like she is never more interested in cleaning than right before the cleaners show up. And I was like, yo, my nigga,
because you don't
like,
want your house to look crazy.
yeah, but it's the judgment of other women. And so if I'm like, hey, we got this, like, yo, if you're gonna call the school, let's go up there together. If you're gonna be the one checking up on the homework at this part, then I can take over in the evening, right? Like there's all kinds of give and take, but then there's some extra effort that just appears because of judgment.
Is it
Like,
extra effort or is it like, I don't want to say this is how you do it right, but that's what came to my brain.
Well, but according to who?
Standards. You want
Whose standards?
your house to be clean.
Why-
by cleaning
Why are your
standards.
standards raised depending on who you think is going to see it?
They're when you have company. I had Alexa help me speak in Spanish. So when the cleaning ladies came, I could explain to them that my mom was coming to town and I needed them to put in work. And they were like, oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, yeah, my mom's getting to town today. It's Spanish. And they were like, oh. But they agreed. And the house is spotless. So even their level of performance.
The pressure
I mean,
of a
so it's
judgmental
spotless.
mom.
But it was they were like, oh.
The pressure of a judgmental mom transcends cultures. Of that, I am sure.
But I think that is, again, getting to this gendered component of motherhood, right? Like, it's not just being a mom. And, like, yes, it sounds good. You should take time for yourself. That's important. Self-care or whatever you want to call it. Taking time for yourself to think, to breathe, to relax, to read a book, to do whatever is important. I think, though, it sometimes ignores people's lived realities. And so, I'm just, like, looking at some of these statistics. And this is also working women. So, like, we all have jobs. I'm a mom, and I am an educational researcher, and trying to be an entrepreneur and podcaster. Like,
Not trying to be, are.
Oh, sorry,
Just not
yes.
getting paid enough for either.
yeah, right?
Just yet.
But consulting, all of that, right? I'm doing all the things. So because I don't have an army,
So that one day you don't have to parent.
so I don't have to parent. One day
One day this money will be long enough. Unfortunately, the money's going to be long enough when they're already
I know they're already going to be
off
grown.
to school.
I don't know. I'll send Robert to deliver like care packages. I don't know.
Take care of Maya, yo. Hook it up. Like, hey, rich auntie / godmother.
I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy her like coming to visit me for summers
Yeah.
and like doing rich auntie stuff.
Oh, can't wait.
But there is a real gap in the way that people are able to spend their time. And so while I think the principles or the ideas that she shared are valid, you can't just like everyone can't just do that. Right? Like our time doesn't look the same. Our resources don't look the same.
Yeah, it's real.
And I think for parents, there is often assumptions about who and what you are based on what you are not able to do or provide for your kids.
Well, because sometimes people think it's choice. Like, I'm choosing not to do this for my kid. I'm choosing not to, where I don't operate from that framework. So like, I would never get involved in, we were talking about the birthday party arms race earlier. Like, yo, can we just agree to not do that? And I think all the time about one of the most illuminating conversations I had with a participant in my early research career was me scoffing at pre-K and kindergarten graduations.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, why? And I feel like it's a very similar perspective that people have on like these big birthday parties. Like, why do we have to invite the whole class? And what the person convinced me of very quickly is that like, yo, tomorrow's not promising. You need to celebrate every milestone.
Okay.
Like,
I can get behind that.
and so if you have the means to throw a blowout fourth birthday party, or if you have the means to accidentally take your baby to Cabo for her birthday, right? Like,
Sparklers.
yeah. Like, okay, like we're setting a different level of expectation because unfortunately she has a steel trap memory.
I
But
go to Mexico.
yeah, I'm not upset about the celebration of it. What I am upset about is the judgment of people who don't choose to go about it that way, or who don't have the opportunity, the means, or otherwise positioned to do that. And I think that that's more where we need to pay attention to.
I also think that like, and I think celebration is important, but there's also this keeping up with the Joneses, or like, oh, what's the one? Gender reveals like kept escalating, and now people are like setting forest fires. Like, what? Did we even? I don't even think we have.
But
No,
I feel
because
like
we figured out when the baby was born. But like, can we just take it down a notch?
I feel like certain social apps depend on people looking at the Joneses.
I mean, yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram is keeping up with the Joneses in real time.
Yeah, like if I see some of your, you have 9 line sisters, so I don't have to name any of them, but there are particular ones where I'm like, oh, really?
The Joneses.
Yeah. Like,
they are the Joneses. And I'm like, let me not compare my life to theirs at all, because I will be sad as fuck.
Europe again? Like, it's Tuesday. Like,
It's like, oh weird.
well, like, nobody, it's not your birthday. It's not a national holiday.
I want all of my friends and family to have nice things. And you know what? I can appreciate being able to do that. It just sometimes seems like, what happened to like backyard get-togethers, right? Like,
oh, but that means that you live around your real friends though, and I think that that's the problem. So when I'm in major cities where there's a critical mass of my friends, you can get people together, and the valuable thing about the event is just spending time with each other.
yes.
When you have to struggle to have like a lunch with your one friend, it's a very different proposition.
I can appreciate that. I guess the other side of it is like, is there a cost to not doing those things?
I think that you have to build community around yourself and your kids intentionally. And so even a birthday party, some people might go over the top with it, but I think about it no different than I think about like confirmation and communion, and like these are times to invite people that matter to you into your space to celebrate your kids and to like deepen their bonds and connections to your family. And I respect that for what it is, and I think it's valuable, but I also think it really important to never go beyond your means or to make yourself uncomfortable.
Okay. Because sometimes it feels more like it's about event production. And I love event production. Like, I love me a good event. I really enjoy event planning. That might be my next career. So like I can understand it, but when it comes to parenting, it just feels like there is judgment associated with those who cannot. And I think that is the problem.
I think there's a what Ludacris say? It ain't tricking if you got it. Like, there's a parenting applied version of that. Where like, yo, if you have the means and you can splash on your kids and you could take them to all the Disneys and the, what was it? Disneyland Tokyo. Like, really, the hardest thing was getting here. Because
Did you talk to
well, absolutely.
I was like, I want to go.
Yeah. But like, I think that that's a very different thing. And so I guess as we close up, right, the question that I have for you is like, which parenting choice in your life is actually a privilege you'd lose if your resources change tomorrow?
Oh,
Since you're Big Money Marge.
I'm not.
Yeah, look at that. She couldn't even hide.
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, so what parenting choice that I make is a privilege I lose if my resources change tomorrow? Oh, Jack and Jill. Absolutely.
I was going to go lower and more recent than that.
But I had a different first thought. So my first thought was being able to show up at school in the middle of the day is a privilege with like little to no notice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on the phone with whoever and they're like, hey, this thing happened. Bet I'm there. Like I have
That's a commuting privilege too, though.
Right? There's lots of things there, right? So I have the flexibility in my work to generally determine my schedule. And if I have to say, hey, I got to go because my kid needs whatever, there are no questions asked. No one's checking for me, right? It's like, oh, like we hope it's okay. See you later.
It's the benefit of being a salaried employee.
Yes. A high level one. Upper middle management. I live close enough to where my kids go to school. I work from home and live close enough to where my kids go to school that they are easily accessible at any time. And I am, is this a privilege? I earned my education, but I'm privileged because of it. And so I can show up and say, Dr. Dora Mae Williams, and that immediately indicates something to the people that we're speaking to.
My PhD's in education.
Right? So like, and then it's like, oh, right there. That it mood switch.
So you start speaking that language. IEP 504.
Restorative justice.
I rip.
So I recognize that there are lots of things in my life that are choices I make as a parent that are supported by the resources that we have access to.
Yeah.
And maybe that's that consciousness of, it's weird being like upper middle class. Like, I like,
I told you I have a working theory about upper mediocre.
it's like
It's a very important phase for a lot of people's lives. You just need to break out of it at a certain point.
Yes, I need to make it to the other side. But yeah, I think that those things are, I'd say, kids in the school and Jack and Jill are the two privileges that I will lose if my resources change tomorrow. Because Jack and Jill, in fact, I will share this for anyone interested. One of the criteria for being a member of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated is financial fit.
I mean, if you...
They're upfront about it. Like, listen.
You can't participate if you're a brokey.
You can't
People
do
are not
this
going to
is
be...
not-
it's like the broke friend. Like, hey, bro, listen, my brother in Christ. I know that you're going through a hard time right now, but that might mean that you're not going on this trip.
Yeah. We'll see you when we get back. We have a barbecue.
No, I'm not gonna
invited.
front you. Yeah, you can come
To the barbecue.
We'll do the local thing.
Yeah. But yeah, it is very much a privilege.
Yeah.
So what's your answer?
I don't know. I like that question for you.
He's such a...
Well, I don't know that. I don't think I have as defined a line around the concept of choice. So Jack and Jill would be an easy answer if it wasn't a mom's organization and I'm being held hostage by it because I contribute financially and we co-parent so well.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like I don't. So I'm trying to think of like what are outlays of money that I feel like are a choice. I mean, I guess it's just simple stuff like getting the house cleaned, right? Like I think that's a huge privilege. That
It is a privilege.
Yeah, and like
Other
I could
people
just
come clean your house.
hear my mom cussing me out right now. Like if I asked for that, like when I was a kid, like Mom, we need professionals to come to the house and clean up. Like, well, I got you. Like, you better,
Why would I do that?
you better get to a professional level. But like the idea of like, yo, I don't really feel like walking in the kid's room, and I know that the cleaners are coming and they're gonna take care of it, and I'm gonna be able to bear standing in there
Their bathroom.
next time.
Their bathroom. That's what, yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. But like in terms of parenting choices, I know what I aspire to.
Oh,
So
interesting.
when I think of your commentary, and we got to close because we're getting long. But like when I think of your commentary about like, oh, I wish I could afford to opt out because I have a staff. Like I would hire staff so I could opt in. Like, yo.
But then that's staff for work. That's not staff for parenting.
No, it is staff for parenting. So I'll give you an example of what I was
Okay.
thinking of. I would love to have a driver.
Oh, yes. That's
For
a good one.
like weekend soccer tournaments, stuff like that. Yo, I would not care if I could get up and not actually have to be awake and drive. Like if I could just get in the van and sit in the passenger seat or sit in the back with the kids
It's
and
different.
pass it out or
Yeah.
be BSing on my phone for the 2 hours there and the 2 hours back.
Or I could work in the car and then I don't have to work on the field.
Exactly. Like, or I could do my laptop. Like those are the things that I would aspire to. Like even
Okay.
now I have a road trip. We're driving from Columbia to Dallas very soon. If I had a driver, oh my goodness.
But then I guess the other thing would be if we were there, then we'd just fly everybody. But flying this largest family is not inexpensive.
No, I don't like flying like that. If it's within 6-8 hours, I'd rather drive. I think that there's like value to road trips, but that's just a college thing for
okay.
me. Yeah, like I like the stops. I like the like chat. I like the conversations. I like the like being alone together in the space because everybody can be like doing their own thing, but then you like kind of look up and you interact and yeah. But yeah, I would, if anything, I would be trying to buy additional privileges. But in terms of things that I would cut, and it's not that like I'm not operating from a like I don't have anything that I pay for as it, but I just know that there would be a million things that just wouldn't happen. Like, oh, it costs how much for
right.
travel soccer?
Yeah.
And we got to buy hotels, and we got to buy. It would be stuff like that. It would
Rec
be
is
things that
$50.
it would be things that have become a part of my expected expenses.
Yes.
That when I was growing up would not have been considered expected expenses.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a fair choice. And I think Emma's comments are interesting. I think the principle behind the things she's saying have value, right? So core moments, absolutely. Like this is a part of building the foundation for who and what they'll be as adults.
Yeah.
And all of it matters. I think I agree with your disagreement that, it's only the big things, because it's the little things too, right? It's the stuff. You know what? Like, I remember maybe I was 9, 10, and my dad used to take my brothers to Brooklyn with him when he'd like run errands or whatever on the weekends when he had a day off. And one of those weekends, he took me instead. And I was like so excited. And we went to McDonald's and I got
daddy-daughter
hotcakes.
date.
Yeah. And like to this day, I still remember that. And like feeling special and like getting to spend time with just me and my dad, especially because he works so much. And like, now we do one-on-ones or, attempt to do one-on-ones. But like that time matters. That time is important, right? It signals something to your child, or in this case, she has multiple children. And I don't think you could put a clock on parenting.
Yeah. It's like now you making necklaces out of macaroni and you writing journals for Father's Day about like all the value of those little things.
It was really nice, y'all. Like Michael loves moleskins. And she was like, okay, can we go to Staples? And I'm going to get him a moleskin and the one with the grid lines because I know Poppy likes that, and the big one. And then she painted the cover, this like moonlit sky. There's like a moon. It's blue.
really
it's like really pretty. And then she printed out pictures, which I don't know where she got them from. But she like had them on her iPad and then
a lot of them are just pictures that I've sent her.
Oh, okay. So then
realized.
she printed them out at Walgreens. So like I was like, hey, you could figure this out. You can do this. So she printed them out at Walgreens, went to go pick them up, put together the journal. I was like, oh, well, what are you going to do with it? And so she put the pictures in the journal and then wrote sort of little short essays essentially underneath each of the, 4 or 5 pictures?
Yeah, it was great.
It was a combination of her, Michael, the siblings. It was really thoughtful. It was really thoughtful.
Loved it. So yeah, no, I'm not a 3-hour dad. I aspire to.
I'm definitely not a 3-hour mom.
But I respect the sentiment, and I can see how, especially when you get to the point where your time is actually valued.
Yes.
To the point that people give you help. Because I feel like I've needed an administrative assistant for the last 10 years, but I'm not important enough at work to have one assigned to me just yet. It's like,
I agree. I just think that I would like us to be careful about how we frame these conversations, because we just spent all this time talking about access to resources and socioeconomic status and limitations on your time. But I think the broader conversation is often framed as, oh, you're a good parent or you're a bad parent.
yeah,
And I think that's where we get into an issue. So we'll talk about that next time.
excellent. Love you guys. See you next time on another episode of the Parents and Professors podcast.
Peace.
If this conversation resonated with you, do us a huge, huge, huge favor. Like the episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all our socials. I actually be going crazy on Instagram, so that's the best one.
And please feel free to drop a comment below. Tell us what you liked, what you hated, where you'd like us to dig deeper, or even if you think we missed something. We're always learning and growing, and we want to make sure that we're creating content that resonates with viewers like you.
And most importantly, and this is a huge one, if you know somebody who could benefit from hearing the conversations that we're having on this episode, please share. Sharing is caring. We're doing this for the love and to build a community because it matters.
And at the end of the day, that's the most important part, creating spaces where we can have real, honest conversations about the things that matter to you: education, parenting, relationships, and everything in between.
So thanks for being part of our community. Go check out the catalog of other episodes if you haven't. And we look forward to seeing you next time on the Parents and Professors podcast.